Okay. Hi, I'm Hannah. Oh, thank you, Mary, for asking me to speak.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Okay, good. And thank you all for coming. So I was thinking about what to talk about because I could talk on forever about what happened and all that. But I decided to kind of talk about one of the effects the disease of alcoholism has had on me and connect it with my favorite tradition, which is Tradition 10. So I grew up in alcoholism. I was walking on eggshells as a kid. It felt like a landmine, because the rules changed every day. So, one day the rules could be this, the next day it changes, and then you're blasted for it. And there was abuse. There was a suicide of my sister. There was neglect. There was shaming, a lot of fear, and pretty much lived in survival mode. And I was addicted to a variety of things, alcohol not being one of them, though. One of the things that I'll talk about today that I was addicted to was excitement. And there's a saying, I think, in our literature about being addicted to excitement in all our affairs. And, I was modeled that. And so I gossiped a lot. I was definitely involved in a lot of controversy. And early on, when I was in elementary school, a boy on my school bus nicknamed me Gossiping Gertrude. And I didn't think anything was wrong about that. Like, you might as well said, "Oh, you breathe air." Yeah, so, yeah. And didn't really give it any thought that he was really insulting me. And then I grew up and I was attracted to excitement, and I was attracted to controversy, and I generated controversy and excitement, and I perpetuated it, and I kept it alive. And if it died, I'd do CPR on it and revive it, because that was my high. I got a high off of that. And years ago, before program, I met someone here in Tucson, and I found out that she was in hiding because she lived in California, and she was stalked by a stalker, and there was an attempted murder on her. And so she had moved to Tucson under a different name. She registered at the U of A under a different name for her safety, because they had not caught this guy yet. The California police and the Arizona police could not catch this guy. And I was attracted to her. I wanted to be her best friend. She was like, I was starstruck. She was like famous to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And, it's like, it's pretty sick to think back to that and go, I really wish I had my own stalker like that, and have all this excitement. So I kind of rode her coattails on that. And man, she was crazy. She was sick. I was sick, and we attracted to each other. And she would say, I think I saw my stalker. He's working at the cell phone store down on Speedway in Alvernon. And she's like, I got to find out if it's him. So me and her sat outside in the parking lot across from the cell phone store and did our own stakeout. And it was I think it's a tire store now, but it used to be the Pets Hotel. And those people kept looking out the window like, why are they parked there for hours and hours? And the crazy thing is her mom made us dinner for our stakeout so we could catch this attempted murderer that the California police couldn't catch, the Arizona police couldn't catch, but we're going to catch him, and he works at this cell phone store in Tucson. And that was the craziness that I loved. I loved being on the stakeout and loved doing that, and this whole idea of being in danger, I think. And so my disease and why I'm an Al-Anon is because I have the disease of distorted thinking, which can be just as cunning, baffling, and powerful as alcoholism, because I made decisions based on distorted thinking, decisions that were very unhealthy, very unsafe, and potentially dangerous. And again, I loved it. I was high on that. So let's see here. So I love telling the stories to everyone about, oh, this happened and that happened. And I would call my brother up and I'd tell him about all this drama in my life. And finally, one time he said, look, I can't listen to this anymore. I'm too scared that you're gonna get hurt or die. And, you know, that was my first awareness. I didn't think what I did was unsafe. I thought it was, wow, can you believe this happened? And it really was awareness for me that he can't listen to it anymore because of my safety. It didn't dawn on me, to be concerned about my own safety. And then when I got into program and told my sponsor about all these things I did, she was just like, oh my gosh, God was watching out for you. And again, awareness. I didn't think God was watching out for me at all. I had no awareness about that. And and here's these people shocked that I wasn't raped or killed by some of the things I decided to do. And so what brought me into the rooms of Al-Anon the first time and the second time, because I had left, was my another addiction, which is love addiction. And I made a lot of men my higher power. And when they reject you, I mean, you'll hit bottom. You'll hit bottom pretty fast. And that's what got me into Al-Anon the first time, and then left because I found a new man and thought, I'll be happy now. And then again, made another guy my higher power. That crashed and burned, and then I bottomed out and then came back to Al-Anon the second time. So, and then I'm going to switch gears to tie this in with my favorite tradition, which is Tradition 10. And I call it the Charlie Sheen Tradition. And if you remember about over 10 years ago, I was just a few years into program, so I was still a beginner. But does anyone remember when Charlie Sheen had that public meltdown and he was raging against everybody, and he in his rages, one of the victims that he would attack would be AA. And he'd say, AA is for losers and you're weak and it's a crutch, and I just decide that I'm okay and I'm okay, so I'm a winner, I have tiger blood and all that. And I remember when he was saying those things about AA, I was taking it personal, and I was yelling at the TV, and I'd be like, dude, you need a sponsor, you need to shut up and get the, sitting rooms, all this stuff. I'd be yelling at the TV. And I thought, my God, he is going to destroy the program. He needs to, we need to stop him. We need to fight back. And so I remember watching on TV that the media went to the AA headquarters and asked them, what is your response to Charlie Sheen's negative allegations about you? And nothing. The media said, They refuse to comment. And they won't, so what they did was I remember them, I guess AA let them in and see film empty rooms in there because you can't show your face, but they allowed that, and I thought it just really hit me that is Tradition 10 in action. They really do practice what they preach, and I thought, okay, they're not hypocritical. I thought, they have no opinion because this is an outside issue, and they refuse to engage in this controversy with Charlie Sheen and the media circus around it. And part of me was like, oh my gosh, you need to defend yourself. But then another part was like, oh my gosh, that is true faith. They know that there's a higher power, and Charlie Sheen isn't going to destroy the program or, keep people away from it if God's in charge. So that's why that was the first tradition that I ever saw in action, because I wasn't even touching the traditions yet in my program work. So I love that. So how can I use Tradition 10 in my life? So I would use it in family controversy. There's a lot of family controversy in my family. And how do I not engage in it? And so when I go to visit my family now, for a number of years now, they've been in a retirement home. They appointed my brother to be their power of attorney. And I get to watch them have heated disagreements about money, their health care, and I have opinions, but I don't express them because of this tradition has taught me I don't need to. I don't have to engage in their controversy. They didn't make me power of attorney. They didn't even make me assistant power of attorney or lackey or anything, So it's really none of my business. But, I do disagree with the way my brother handles sometimes my parents' health care. My dad has been doing the dance of hospital, rehab, nursing home, assisted living, all that stuff. And I have opinions about the way he is handling that. And I expressed it one time. My sponsor says, say it once and let it go. And I said it once, and my brother said, nope, that's not what I'm going to do. And I had to let that go. And that's because of this program. Because the program says I can be happy whether the alcoholic is drinking or not. I can be happy whether the decisions are being made that I agree with or not. So I'm better able to say, this is an outside issue. I don't need to engage in this controversy. One side piece about my parents and healthcare is my mom is in independent living right now, and my dad is in assisted, although he does that dance to all sorts of different places. So and before this even happened, my mother told me a story that before he went into rehab, there was a lot of pressure on her by my dad to be his caretaker. He only wanted her to take care of him, and he wanted to be taken care of at home. And my brother agreed, and they pressured my mom into be his caretaker. And she was like, mm-mm. She shared with me the reason why she said no is because she worked as an interpreter for many years, where in Minnesota, she was the go-between people who only spoke Chinese, and she would be the interpreter with the doctor, or the translator for doctors, and she would go with these families or these people who couldn't speak English, and she would translate. And she told me a story about this couple, same kind of situation where the father or the husband only wanted the wife to be the full-time caretaker. He demanded it. He would not go to a nursing home. No way, no way. And so the wife agreed to do it. And it was so demanding that she was at his beck and call 24/7. He was yelling at her. And then 2 years into this, he was yelling for her. She wasn't coming, and found out she died in the house. And my mom is convinced it's because of the exhaustion. And so he ended up having to go to a nursing home anyway. And she saw that, yeah, this could happen to me. My dad needed a ton of care. And this is where I think about Tradition 8, because she knew she couldn't do it. He needed special workers. He needed a team of special workers. Everywhere he went, there was a team of special workers. And, with Al-Anon, the eighth tradition talks about our service centers have special workers. 12-step work is done by volunteers, but Al-Anon has accountants, editors, lawyers, all that. Those people with special skills. So that's what my dad needed. My mom knew that she couldn't do that, and she stood her ground with her boundaries, which was really admirable, and I'm really proud of her for doing that. So anyway, this has helped me with work controversy, neighbor controversy. There's a lot of gossip at work. There's a lot of no boundaries at work, being in the caretaking profession. So I really have to work my program, and Tradition 10 is huge, and try to stay out of that gossip and out of the controversy and keep my boundaries. So though I don't engage, of course I have strong opinions and strong feelings, and what does the program teach me about how to deal with those? Because even though I don't engage in controversy, I'm not recovered enough where I don't have an opinion. So it's like, I have opinions, and they gotta go, So, I get to pray, meditate, work the steps. I call my sponsor. I call a program friend. I share in meetings, and unfortunately, you all get to hear my opinions and my feelings around opinions. And but that has helped me with my relationships and my job and my interactions. So I'll just close with one of my sponsees loves to say, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." And it's gotten, we hear about that, like not my farm, not my pig. But anyway, not my circus, not my monkeys. And then sometimes it gets shortened to not my monkeys. And I think someday it's going to get to not. And that's it. We just know what you're talking about. But, so tradition 10 is a saving grace for someone like me who loves to visit circuses. I love to perform in circuses. I want to be the ringleader of a circus. I want to collect monkeys, all different kinds of monkeys. And then I will stay in that circus and then complain about the circus and be the victim. Why is this circus happening to me? So tradition 10 helps me stay out of the circus. And it helps me keep my serenity intact so I can be happy, joyous, and free, which is what the program promises me if I willingly surrender to this spiritual program. Thank you for letting me share. You want to join the circus with me?
I have my own circus.